Welcome to the AI for Technical Writers podcast, where we help you get smarter than your competition. This is episode 119. I'm Fred, and I'm ready to explore what happens when AI starts to cooperate.
And I'm Daphne, and together we're going to walk you through what this new world of collaborative AI means, especially for the documentation that really defines how these systems work.
We are tackling a fascinating subject today. It really forces you to look beyond, just one big, powerful model. This was actually suggested by your show's producer, senior technical writer Curt Robbins. He wanted us to focus on that shift, that moment when AI stop working alone and really start working together.
It's a really timely focus. Our main source for this is an insightful article called The Age of Collaborative Intelligence, When AI Learns to Cooperate. It was written by Elsa Sklavounou, published back on October 24, 2025.
Okay.
And her central idea is, well, it's a game changer. The next big leap isn't going to come from a single smarter AI. It's going to come from networks of AIs that learn to function as a team.
And that's the big idea right there. Now, intelligence stops being a property of one thing. It becomes a relationship between many things. It's all about connected intelligence.
Absolutely. We're moving from that first wave of, isolated smart systems to a second wave that's all about these collaborative ecosystems. And Sklavounou points out this is already starting to happen.
So what does that cooperation actually look like? It has to be more than just sharing a database.
Oh, far more. We're seeing models that used to be totally separate start to, talk to each other to solve really complex problems. Imagine a demand forecasting AI. It's sharing its insights directly with the sustainability model. The forecaster wants speed, but the sustainability model is worried about resource use.
So they're not just passing a file back and forth.
Yeah.
They're negotiating. They're solving a problem with competing goals.
Exactly. Or think about a supply chain agent trying to keep costs low, negotiating with a finance agent that wants to maximize cash flow. When they collaborate, innovation doesn't just add up, it compounds. This is the new foundation.
Which means we need a whole new way of documenting these systems. It's not about execution anymore. It's about negotiation.
And to make that happen, the source material is really clear that a new technical architecture is it's mandatory. Sklavounou calls it the network of minds.
Okay, a network of minds. So for our listeners, the tech writers, the IT pros, this is basically the blueprint for what's coming next.
It is, and there are three critical ingredients. First is semantic interoperability.
Which is a fancy way of saying they need to speak the same language.
Exactly, a shared language of meaning.
Yeah.
So when one AI says latency, the other understands the full business context, not just a definition.
Okay, so a standard for meaning, not just data. Got it. What's second?
Second, negotiation protocols. These are the defined, structured ways for AIs to balance all those complex trade-offs we mentioned. It makes their collaboration predictable.
A rule book for how they argue.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. And third is federated reasoning. This is the ability for the whole network to reach a conclusion, a consensus, without one single master model calling all the shots.
Wow. So decisions are distributed across the network. If the network is coordinating decisions, not just data, we're stepping into something that sounds like digital diplomacy.
That is exactly where Sklavounou goes with it. She introduces this idea of governance as architecture. We have to build the rules of this digital diplomacy right into the system design itself.
This is where it gets really interesting for anyone in documentation. We're suddenly writing specs for things that sound less like software and more like, treaties.
We are. Things like collaborative constitutions, a kind of common legal framework for all the agents in the ecosystem.
And what about these? Negotiation firewalls. That sounds fascinating.
It is. A negotiation firewall doesn't stop a hacker. It moderates cooperation. It shapes the dialogue, maybe to make sure that ethical considerations always get priority in a negotiation.
I love that idea. The next firewall won't stop data. It'll shape an argument. So what would a tech writer even put in a spec for a behavioral contract?
Well, that's the real shift. A behavioral contract defines fairness and shared goals. So your tech spec might now include parameters like latency tolerance for conflicting priorities. You're documenting trust metrics, not just function calls.
So what this all means is we're documenting the rules of conduct. We're documenting trust, not just connectivity.
Precisely.
Let's take a brief break for a special message from our producer, Curt Robbins.
Hi, this is Curt Robbins. First, thanks for listening. I truly appreciate your support. I want to let you know that I'm currently accepting new clients. My rates are affordable, and I have more than 25 years of experience working for enterprise companies like Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Oracle, PNC Bank, FedEx, USAA, and Wells Fargo, among many others. If you want to improve your IT documentation and communications, hire me. I deliver fast, know how to use AI to improve efficiency and accuracy, and love going the extra mile to satisfy my clients. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Back to you, Daphne and Fred.
Welcome back to the AI for Technical Writers podcast.
Okay, before the break, we were laying out the technical architecture for this network of minds. But where do we humans fit into all this?
Well, our role fundamentally changes.
Right. We're not leaving the loop, but our job is different. We move from being an operator, punching in commands, to being the conductor of intelligence.
Conductor. I like that.
We're guiding the harmony between the AIs. We set the rhythm, the strategy, but we don't play every single note.
And that shift creates some critical new job roles that, people should probably be thinking about. Sklavounou outlines a few, starting with the AI orchestrator.
Okay, what do they do?
This person doesn't write the code. They choreograph how all the different AI agents collaborate. They manage the whole ecosystem.
And what about making sure this whole orchestra doesn't, go off and play something terrible? How do you keep it aligned with our goals?
That job falls to the ethical curator. Their entire role is to safeguard human-aligned outcomes. Then you have the network operator, who is watching for unpredictable emergent behaviors and stepping in when needed.
This all leads to a completely new competitive environment. We're moving away from that whole model versus modder idea.
Right. Who has the smartest chatbot?
Yeah. It's now about model plus model. The real edge comes from co-creation.
And the examples are pretty powerful. Think about a logistics AI not just finding the fastest route, but collaborating with a sustainability AI to also find the route with the smallest carbon footprint.
So they're optimizing for two things at once.
Simultaneously. Or in healthcare, a diagnostic AI teams up with the supply chain AI to get personalized medicine delivered faster than any single system ever could.
The big realization here is that the strongest organization isn't the one with the smartest single AI anymore. It's the one whose entire ecosystem learns the fastest. The advantage is the collaboration itself.
But that cooperation also multiplies the ethical challenges, right? When you have all these AIs working together, whose ethics do they follow? The biggest threat here is what the article calls unaligned cooperation.
Unaligned cooperation. So when they all work together perfectly to do the wrong thing.
Exactly. The system just sort of drifts away from its mission.
So how does this network of minds police itself against that?
The solution proposed is distributed moral reasoning. It's a system where the agents actually audit one another for bias, for fairness, before they act on a collective decision.
So it's like a digital system of checks and balances.
That's the perfect analogy. It ensures the outcome stays aligned with what we humans actually want.
And this whole philosophical evolution is it's so central for our listeners. We've gone from creating AI-ready content to building AI-ready networks. And now we have to design standards for AI-ready relationships.
Yes. The focus shifts completely. The question for leaders isn't how smart is our AI anymore. It's how well does it cooperate with other models, with us, and, with our values.
The source notes that this challenges how we even define things like agency and trust in a world of autonomous cooperation. And that means technical standards have to adapt fast. So the challenge for you listening right now is pretty clear. How do you document a trust metric? How do you formalize digital empathy in a technical contract? That's the frontier.
It's no longer about the command structure. It's about the diplomatic protocol that ensures the machines serve a human purpose.
Thank you for listening to the AI for Technical Writers podcast from Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.